Morning, greatest of the nine, back at it again. How do you know if you're an old soul? Or how do you know if your soul has been around the way? You know what I'm saying? Um, I think people who know their old souls instinctively know it. Like there's a little like pop-up comic book message inside of you that you see in times of isolation, when you're not necessarily depressed, but when you're kind of feeling that you have nowhere else to go. I think people with old souls instinctively have something that comes online and they just know, you know. It's but this world's so based on external research, empirical proof, you know what I'm saying? Show me the money. That's the mantra of the damn physical world, is show me the money, which means show me it in the flesh. But dealing with things like, reincarnation, soul dimensions, twin flames, soulmates, souls going through portals, you know, how do you prove it? Prove it, prove it, prove it. Well, we've already got one thing out of the way. We know that people or entities who tend to always prefer physical proof. Now, listen, obviously, with our eyes, humans, we're visual learners, but we're talking about something different. We're talking about launching our perceptions to a new level. Okay, I'm not talking about, going up to a musician or a performing artist whose entire craft is based on people receiving their work, right? So if I go see a band play, you know, I'm not going to say, well, show it to me, because that's what they're paid, hopefully, and that's what they're trained to do. That's their craft. You know what I'm saying? However, old soul and being an old soul and having missions to do on this planet isn't particularly an art, okay? It's simply, I call it a supernatural role. You know what I'm saying? So it's up to you whether you're going to, because what you do when you bring it down to the physical all the time, show me the money, prove to me your old soul, prove to me Hawk is your spirit sign, prove to me that cats come to you in your dreams, prove to me, all of that, you're adding so much density and weight to the real essence of what an old soul is supposed to do. Alright? So, I'm only going to deal with 4 signs because, there's tons of little things you could say attribute to it, but these are 4 of my strongest points for being an old soul, okay? So, point 1 is a vast, maybe vast isn't the right word, a very overwhelming feeling of being misunderstood. Okay, and this is because deep in the subconscious of the individual that the old soul is embodying, deep in that subconscious is knowledge. That knowledge is resonating and vibrating constantly. So, especially when this person's throat chakra, which is symbolized by the color blue, when your throat chakra becomes open, because we have 7 main chakras. Do that in another video, but when your throat chakra opens, another one of my friends told me that the voice is a sign of an old soul, a soothing, kind of almost godlike voice, a next level type of vibration coming from your throat chakra, okay? And what that means is that your words, your ability to communicate, has crystallized itself on this level. So even the way people hear you starts to become misunderstood. And this can be very problematic. But when this happens, my old souls out there, don't get outside of yourself. Don't get caught up in anything to abuse yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just understand that you're vibrating on another level. And the more you try, and back to our mantra, show me the money. The more you try to authenticate who and what you are and what you came here to do physically. I've seen a lot of people go downhill with that. Okay, so let's not even approach self-pity of being misunderstood. It's supposed to happen. All right. Sign 2, a very, very, very sensitive connection to nature's kingdoms. Okay, now why didn't I just say nature? Well, obviously with all the deforestation and all of these, as my friend likes to say, the synthetic takeover. How many of us see trees at the rate we would want to? You know, how many of us see bears walking around? You know, on average. So that network has been destroyed. So nature's kingdom simply involve all forms of it, all forms of her, excuse me. You know, and of course certain kingdoms based on your soul level and based on your archetype as a supernatural being, certain worlds speak to you more than others. Alright? So if you're an awakened soul and you constantly keep seeing cats keep coming to you in your dreams, cats keep finding you, likely in the ancient world, you know what I mean, you could have either been a cat yourself, and these are messengers, you know, trying to guide you in that particular school up here, right? And then here, we're not talking about getting down on all fours and prowling like a damn lion, okay? We're not dealing with that. If you think that's what I'm dealing with, just, you know, that's, We're talking about soul characteristics, all right? If you always have a connection with, you know, like I just said, birds, and all sorts of birds too. But I don't want to get too off topic, but so a hyper-sensitive connection to nature's kingdoms. You know, you may be like me, you may rarely find peace unless you immerse yourself in nature. You know, unless you're running through the forest and sweating and seeing all these kingdoms, you know, weave all this art together, okay? So that's the second sign. The third sign I'm going to say is, your third sign is definitely going to be your sensitivity to the world of art. And basically what art does is art allows our chakras to go on vacation. Art, that's how I like to put it. So, you know, you become you become a little more in tune with shit that matters. Now, who am I to say what matters to you? You're your own person. I'm talking about the finer things in life, okay? Not cigars and $100 bills so much, although that would be nice, but you start to appreciate things non-material. And this is the big, all of these things segue into being misunderstood, which is why I led with being misunderstood, okay? You know, if you work with, you know, let's say 12 people, and, you know, every other week, they all have a conversation about Jordans, or, you know, some type of monopolistic pseudo version of wealth. Feel me? For a lot of people, you know, that's based on shoes. Alright? If you're not in that conversation, cool, it won't matter. But, you know, looking at somebody like me, you would assume that I enjoy Jordans, or that I subscribe to that version of wealth. What you gotta realize is that people can start to feel when your R isn't on the material plane. You know, the problem is, since materialism is normalcy now, you get all the wrong signs, or you get all the wrong judgments. You know what I'm saying? That nigga weird. She strange. She don't do her hair like mine. He don't ever got on no recent J's. He not fresh. he don't know how. I'm not talking about people walking with holes in their clothes and stains on their pants. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about normal people who may not feel such a deprivation when it comes to wealth. And that's the only thing people are doing, you know, when they engage in this high level of materialism. But when you look into their eye, you can sense that something basic may be more missing, and they may need to pay more attention to that. But anyway, so what do we have so far? We have intense common misunderstanding. Remember, don't let that bring you down. That's part of the friction that's necessary. Hyper connection to nature's kingdoms and animals. Your soul tends to ascend away from materialism rather quickly. And fourth, your heart chakra begins to open. Okay? Now, this is important because being an old soul, being a new soul on this planet who hasn't gone through those progressions, your heart is the magnetic center of your universe, okay? Everybody is a star. So your heart is basically the motherboard of that, okay? And